Hello viewers, good afternoon. My name is P. Venugopal. So you can in this video I am going to give you an idea of this fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines tuition which I am offering. So mainly in this video I will explain about the course objectives and the details of the syllabus which we are going to cover in this fluid mechanics and hydraulics tuition, and also some useful links about my tuition. So if you see the uh, next slide here, I am going to give you the course objectives here. So what are the main objectives as per the JNTU-H? It is the in fluid mechanics and hydraulics machines tuition. In this subject, the main objectives of this course is to understand the basic principles of fluid mechanics and identify different types of flows. Also to understand the boundary layer concepts and flow through pipes. Then evaluation of performance of hydraulic turbines, and also understanding the functioning of characteristics or curves of pumps. So this is the objectives of fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines subject as per JNTU. So if you go into the details of the syllabus, which I will be covering as part of this FMHF tuition, there will be 5 units in this particular tuition as per the JNTU-H second year second semester syllabus for mechanical engineering. So first unit talks about the fluid statistics. So in this particular unit, I'll be explaining about the various physical properties of fluids, like for example, specific gravity, pressure, surface tension, and how do you measure the pressure on all these things will be discussed in this particular unit. Basically, fluid statics means it is a study of a fluid when it is in a stationary condition. That means it is not flowing, it is static at particular one place. So at that time, how the fluid behaves and what are the different properties which will be used to study the statics of fluid, that is what is going to be covered in unit 1. Coming to the second unit, talks about the fluid kinematics and fluid dynamics. Basically, fluid kinematics is all about when the fluid is having some motion, when it is flowing. At the same time, the forces of that particular flow is not considered in the kinematics. So without considering the forces of motion of the fluid, what happens, what are the details we'll be covering in the kinematics, like what are the different types of flows, whether it is uniform, non-uniform, laminar, turbulent, just high level about the different types of the flows. And also one important thing covered in the kinematics is about the equation of the continuity for one dimensional and as well as three-dimensional flows. So continuity equation also will be covered in the kinematics. So coming to the fluid dynamics. So fluid dynamics means when we also consider the forces acting upon the fluid when the fluid is in motion. So that is the if you consider the forces as well, then it becomes the fluid dynamics. So that is the what we will be covering in the fluid dynamics as part of the second unit. So that is generally we explain about the Euler's and Bernoulli's equations for flow, and also we will be studying very detailed about the momentum equation and its applications in the force or pipes or bends, how the application of momentum equation can be applied. So that is the details about the fluid dynamics subject in the second unit. Coming to the third unit we have two sections again here. One is the boundary layer concepts. So how the when the fluid is flowing over a plate or over a curved surface or a pipe, how does the boundary layer forms from the leading edge to the different edge, how the boundary layer will be formed, and what are the different sections in the boundary layer, and what are the different types of flows occurring in the boundary layer, whether it is laminar or transition or turbulent. So the boundary layer behavior and what is the thickness of boundary layer, on all these things will be discussed in the boundary layer concepts. And as part of the third unit, we also will discuss about the closed conduit flow. When you say closed conduit means the something like your pitot tube or venturi meter or orifice plate, orifice meters. So these